Now, writing a resume is one of those things that feels like it should be quite easy, right? Like, how hard can it be to sit down and type out all of your jobs, the date you started, the date you ended, and throw a couple of bullet points on there about what you've done? Like, how hard can that be? Actually, extremely. Welcome to the official Thompson Resume Writing Company YouTube channel, where I share weekly tips and hints on how to update, refresh, and or prepare your resume and LinkedIn profile for your job search, along with some job search tips, some career advice, and some personal stories of my own. I am Tamika Thompson. I'm the owner and resume writer at Thompson Resume Writing Company, and I specialize in transforming bland, lackluster resumes and LinkedIn profiles into powerful selling tools that help corporate mid-level, management, and executive professionals land interviews 2 times faster. If you are new to my channel, welcome, and I'm so happy that you came across my video content, and I hope that you like it enough to go ahead and hit the subscribe button below. If you are a returning viewer, seriously, thank you so much for always staying in tune with my uploads. You are appreciated. Now, for this video, we are talking about something super duper important. Like, for real, stop the presses. We are talking about 6 common resume writing mistakes that I want you to avoid when you are writing your resume. Now, these mistakes can cause ATS rejection, it can cause application denials, and it can cause your job search to last weeks or months longer than it should. And who has the time for that? Not you and not me. So let's go ahead and get into this video. Now, writing a resume is one of those things that feels like it should be quite easy, right? Like, how hard can it be to sit down and type out all of your jobs, the date you started, the date you ended, and throw a couple of bullet points on there about what you've done? Like, how hard can that be? Actually, extremely, and pretty tricky, which is why resume writers like myself exist. Hello. Now, when my clients come to me, it's for a few reasons. One reason is that they are not confident in their current resume and they feel as though it doesn't represent their best professional self. Another reason is that they are getting rejected by the ATS left and right, and their inbox is filled with like tons and tons of ATS rejection emails. And then number 3 is that they're just not getting any interviews. So maybe they're getting through the ATS, but then they're still getting rejected and they're not getting any interviews, or they're getting very few interviews, which are all signs that your resume is not giving what it's supposed to give and that it is in need of some professional help and or some fine tuning, or that it may have several of the mistakes that are in this video on it. Now, I've written over 600 resumes at this point in my business so far, so I have seen it all, but the mistakes that I'm going to be talking about in this video tend to be the worst, and they are by far the most common ones that I see. So without further ado, here are 6 common resume writing mistakes that I want you to avoid. Like, please don't do it. Number 1 is using a resume template. Now, I know resume templates seem like the first step that you should make when you say, hey, I need to go ahead and update my resume. And maybe you're not the best at Microsoft Word and you don't really know how to lay it out or what it should look like. So you just go ahead and pop on Google or Canva, or you pop over to Etsy, or maybe you find a resume writer that's selling resume templates and you say, I'm going to go ahead and click to download and I'm going to go ahead and get started. Don't do that. You know how they say the easy way out may not be the best way out? That is the case when it comes to resume templates. Now, in a previous video that I shared to my channel a couple of weeks ago, I shared several reasons why you should stay far away from resume templates and why you should steer clear of using them, and why they should not be the first step that you take when you want to update your resume. You're better off laying it out in Microsoft Word. And here's the reason why. So number 1 is that templates tend to have a very funky or complex layout and design that is not always able to be processed by the ATS. And if your resume has a complex design, it has a lot of columns in it, there are some unique fonts in there or some other elements, you're not going to get past the ATS and you are going to get rejected. Another reason that you should stay away from ATS templates is that sometimes they can be very limiting when it comes to being able to portray all of your professional information, and you may be forced to leave out information, cut out information, or try to truncate information in order to get it to fit on the template. And who has the time for that? If you have the experience, if you have 10 years of experience and all of the skills, you want to have and maximize as much space as possible to put that on there. And I actually just had a client come through with this exact issue. So this person decided that he was ready to leave his job. He went ahead and popped on over to the internet, like we all do these days, downloaded a template and just threw his information in there. And once he started applying, he was hearing crickets and getting nothing but straight rejection emails. And once he sent me his current resume, I figured out the reason why right away. So aside from the document not being targeted and not being tailored and not having the right keywords in there, that template was difficult for me to read as a human. And so I'm pretty sure that if I had trouble reading it, the ATS probably had trouble reading it. There was like 2 or 3 columns, and the document didn't read naturally from left to right. It had different font sizes all over the place, and the document kind of jumped all over. So his name was up here, and then his contact information was like in a column over here, and then his experience was somewhere over here, and then there was like this little footer at the bottom, and then for some reason there was a section on there that gave that person an option to enter 10 reasons why a recruiter or a hiring manager should hire them. And that is not even necessary. You do not need to have that on a resume. So now I am in the process of designing and creating a customized resume for him in Microsoft Word that is going to be tailored and targeted specifically to him, and that will not have all of those design elements that are in the template in his new resume, so that he can get through the ATS. So my message to you is to stay clear away from them. Please use Microsoft Word to lay out your resume. If you are not familiar with Word, or you don't have the time, or it's just not your thing, go ahead and reach out to a resume writer such as myself so you can go ahead and get that hooked up. Number 2 is not targeting or not taking the effort to tailor the document specifically for the roles that you're going for. Nothing says I'm lazy or that I'm here for any and every job that's available, or I'm going to take any job that's out there, quite like a general resume does. And I cringe every single time. I cannot stand general resumes. My motto has always been, since I started my business writing resumes 7 years ago, that a general resume is for a general job, and a targeted resume is for serious career professionals who are looking to make strategic career moves, and you are after that bag, okay? Which means that you are looking for a particular salary, you have standards, there are certain things that you're looking for, and there are certain things that you do not want. I did make a video about this on my channel as well, where I talked about the difference between a targeted resume and a general resume. Now, some signs that your resume may be general includes that it includes all of your jobs on there, so every single job that you had since you started your career. It also may not have a targeted headline or branding statement at the very top. And number 3 is that in general, it just has no aim or no particular focus. It may also contain unrelated or irrelevant information that is not applicable to the role that you're going for. To target your resume appropriately, the first thing that you want to do is get clear on the job that you want as part of your job search strategy, which you should be laying out prior to you completing your resume or submitting an application to any open roles. And when you start writing your resume, please know first and foremost that it should begin with a value-based qualification summary or professional summary, and that it should only include relevant information and content. And sorry, not sorry, sometimes when you're targeting your resume, that means that you are going to have to remove things or leave certain things off. It is what it is. But please do not let that discourage you. If you have a solid targeted resume that is only 1 page or a page and a half, and you've had to shave off quite a bit of information, that is okay, just as long as that document is lean, mean, and full of value. Number 3 is beginning it with an objective statement. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I had a client come through, and I took a look at their current resume, and it started with the one thing that I and recruiters cannot stand: an objective statement. I can't even believe that objective statements are still around in today's day and age, but I guess if you're not keeping up with modern resume trends and what's going on in the resume writing industry, then you probably wouldn't know that objective statements are outdated, old school, a big no-no, all of that. Resumes in 2022 and beyond need to begin with a value-packed qualification summary or professional summary that links you, your background, your experience, your skills as a solution to the company's problem. Because you have to think about it. That's the reason why this position is open. That's the reason why they're looking to hire somebody, is because they have a need, they have a problem, they have a challenge, and they need somebody to come in and be the solution to that challenge. And for tips on how to write a value-packed qualification summary or professional summary, go ahead and check out this video. Number 4 is having your resume have typos or errors in it. Now, in 2022, we have way too many apps and way too much software and way too many tools available to prevent typos and errors and to make sure that we are communicating effectively, devoid of typos and errors. So, case in point, there is no excuse for having any typos on your resume this year and in the future. I don't want to hear it. Keep the excuses to yourself. It's reported that 58% of resumes that are submitted through the ATS or submitted for consideration for a job have typos in them. And you guys, recruiters are not playing any games. If they see a typo in your resume, many of them who participated in that survey said that they would reject the resume immediately. And it kind of makes sense, because how are you going to be a professional and you claim that you have attention to detail and that you're organized and that you are efficient if you can't spell on your resume properly? Doesn't make any sense. Make it make sense. And it's not just typos that you have to worry about. So you also have to consider punctuation errors and grammatical errors as well. Now, as for me, I studied journalism in college. I loved reading growing up. I was really big into English as a whole in elementary school and middle school. So writing is something that I have down packed, which is also how I ended up in resume writing. It's because I love writing, but I understand that that is not everybody's strength and not everyone loves writing and not everybody knows all of the different things when it comes to writing, as far as commas, punctuation, where apostrophe should go, what should be capitalized, sentence case structure, and all of that. So if writing is not your thing, I highly recommend reaching out to a resume writer to make sure that your resume has no typos, no errors at all in it, so that you are applying with a quality resume that is free of any errors at all. Because I'm telling you, nothing spoils a professional resume like a typo. For more tips on how to make sure typos are nowhere to be found in your resume, go ahead and check out this video. Number 5 is not having any value. So if you want a callback in 2022, if you really want these recruiters to hit you up and be blowing up your inbox, your resume is going to have value. Your value is what you have done that has positively impacted the company. Value-packed resumes tend to have a lot of numbers. So think statistics, think percentages, think data, think charts, think words such as increase or boost or maximize or decrease or slashed. Unfortunately, I am out of video cards for this video, but I did make a video for this on my channel, and it is titled How to Communicate Your Value on Your Resume. I'll go ahead and include the link in the comments so you can click on it and check it out. Number 6 is having your resume exceed 2 pages. So unless you are in a particular field where it is standard for your resume to exceed 2 pages, your resume should not be 3 or 4 pages long. And again, this is a thing. I had a client come to me last month who had a resume that was 6 pages. 6 pages. She is a management level professional, so she has about 20 years of experience, and she sat down to write her resume and just kind of did a whole info dump. And when she laid everything out, all of the experiences that she's had and all of the titles that she had, it was 6 pages long. And she was wondering why she wasn't getting any interviews. Girl, it's because nobody has the time to sit there and read all of that. Recruiters on average spend between 5 to 8 seconds looking at a resume, and the first time that they open it, they tend to scan it or just scroll through it. And if they're seeing that your resume goes past 2 pages, maybe 2.5 pages, I guarantee you have probably lost their interest already. Now, resumes today do not have to be just 1 page. That old school myth, that is dead and gone. Resumes can be 2 pages, but they do have to be filled with relevant, targeted information, and 2 pages today is the absolute max. And if your resume is targeted like we just talked about, 2 pages should be more than enough. In my opinion, I feel like everyone's resume should be at least 2 pages just for keyword purposes, but only if you have enough information to fill those 2 pages or that 1.5 pages with that targeted information. All right, y'all. So those are 6 common resume writing mistakes that I want you to avoid at all costs when you write your resume. Go ahead and comment below if your existing resume or your current resume may have a mistake that was listed in this video in it already, or what is one mistake that surprised you or that shocked you. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, if you liked it, if you had a takeaway from it, go ahead and hit the like button below. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you need assistance with your resume because you realize that your resume has one or many things that are on this list in it, please feel free to reach out to me. You can contact me at hello@thompsonresumes.com. That is my email address. You can also visit my website at www.thompsonresumes.com. Thank you all again so much for watching, and I will see you next week with another helpful video that can upgrade or change your career life. Bye, you guys.